Well, hello, this is Russell Jenkins with ABC Home and Commercial Services again, bringing the Go Anteater podcast to everybody. Today we have another special guest, and his name is Travis Gates, and we are going to ask him, one of the things that we like to do with the podcast is kind of go over some of the stories within the service industry, whether it be a memorable, a gross one, or just kind of one that put you on edge. But today we want to hear from you as to one of your stories from whenever you were out in the field doing all the services for ABC.
All right. I started as a residential pest control tech. Going out, did a lot of the mid-cities, did a little bit of everywhere because they just kept adding stuff to my route. So kept me busy. But got a call from our intrepid sales guy, and he goes, "Hey, man, I got one for you," which was the tagline he used every time he called you, and he needed to add something to the day. But he said, "I've got a house. They've got some roaches. I need you to go by and just, take care of it." Like, all right, roaches, whatever. I see roaches all the time.
Yeah,
It's
normal
just
day of
a normal
business.
thing. So drove my way over there and pulled up, and the people were standing outside. And, most people don't bother to wait outside for my arrival.
Right.
They like to stay indoors where it's air conditioned. So it was already a bit of a red flag that the people met me outside. And I find out that the people meeting me, they're actually the children of the homeowner. The homeowner was an older man. He had to go and get some medical procedures done. So they're like, we're taking this opportunity to help him take care of this problem.
Wow.
And they said he's had roaches for years. It's like, okay, well, a lot of people have a problem that kind of persists. And they said, yeah, we kind of explained it to the sales guy, and, that's why we wanted to get someone over here as quick as we could. It's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. This is their window of opportunity. I'm all on board. I'm still thinking, though, why are these people meeting me outside?
Right.
So they open up the garage door, and the guy says, yeah, so this door goes here into the kitchen. And he's not leading the way. He's just pointing at the door. So it's like, okay, well, you mind if I go in? He's like, no, go ahead. So
Uh-oh.
I open the door that goes into the kitchen, and there's cockroaches around the door frame as soon as the door opens. Already, German cockroaches just start going everywhere. Like, well, that's not a great sign, right? Cockroaches don't like to live by the door.
Yeah, very
Because
small
doors
infestation.
open, so they don't generally hide in the places that are moving around a lot. So I click on my nice flashlight, and I shine it on into the kitchen, and every surface moved. The floors, the walls, the ceiling, the front of the refrigerator, everything just kind of had a ripple to it. There were German cockroaches coating every surface in the kitchen. It's like, okay, well, we better buckle down. So I put a mask on, pre-COVID days. So it was a mask by choice, not a mask by, mandatory reasoning. So put my mask on because it's like, I don't want to breathe whatever this is. Cockroach droppings can cause allergies and asthma. So got to protect myself. And I step on in, and the roaches are parting around my feet. You have to do this kind of little like shuffle step when there's a lot of cockroaches around, where you just keep lifting your feet up and down because you don't want them crawling up onto your legs. So you're kind of doing this weird little like high step thing going into the kitchen. It looks like a little kid that has to pee, but it's just so I don't have roaches in my pants. But I shuffle my way into the kitchen, and right past the refrigerator on my right, there was the back door going out to the backyard. And on the floor there was a tray of rodent bait, which had been effective. There was a dead rat on the floor. And that dead rat was currently food for the cockroaches. And the roaches were crawling in and out of openings on this rat on the floor, just flowing in and out as they ate this thing from every part of the rat, which was kind of a disturbing sight in a room that is already filled with cockroaches. So everything I moved, every drawer I opened, just a flood of cockroaches comes out.
Oh, man.
The kitchen sink just kind of was like a little boiling pot of cockroaches crawling all over the dishes. The living room, which attached to the kitchen, the couch, the TV, the bookshelves, all cockroaches. And it's all the German cockroach, our little cockroach that's just everywhere.
Right.
So to coat a wall with cockroaches that are half an inch long and just under a quarter inch wide, it's a decent number. I worked my way through, got to the hallway, which went to the bedroom, and the bathroom is right off the hallway. And the bathroom, the cabinets and everything, German cockroaches. So I opened the sliding door for the shower, and luckily, no German cockroaches. American cockroaches
Oh,
in the
wow.
bathtub. So the whole bottom of the bathtub was like a carpet of American cockroaches instead. So yeah, we had multiple types of cockroaches living in harmony, happy in this home. I went back out to talk to the customer and just explain. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to call for backup here. I am not currently equipped to deal with this. I walk in with my happy little, tool pouch with my tube of bait and some glue traps and some aerosol and dust ready to do some damage. And I had to let them know that I needed help. So I went out to call my manager, and as I'm explaining things to the customer, the lady just points at me and says, "Do you?" And I didn't realize that there was a roach crawling down my face at the time, because at that point my skin was itching so much
Right.
just from being in the house that I couldn't really feel it. So I had to brush, the cockroach off my face, which is a nice thing to do while you're talking to the customer.
Oh,
Nobody
it's
wants to have a
wonderful.
roach on your face.
Exactly.
Right? So that was probably the most shocking situation to walk into, just because of the sheer number. But we took care of it. You go in, we got backup, we brought in our vacuums, we sucked up as many of those roaches as we possibly could, physically removing the roaches. It also works like a little wood chipper, so as you vacuum them up, it shreds them up too. So you end up with this little like bag of roach paste, great for sandwiches. But you just vacuum up as many as we could, and then went through the normal process, right? The basics for roach control: flush, dust, bait, right? Inspect, figure out where they are, which was everywhere in this case. Dusting aerosol into cracks, crevices, and voids, and then placing bait wherever we could. So going back to the essentials, using our normal tools, you could still get it under control. I recommend they do a serious deep clean and get rid of some of the furniture. Couches, lots of upholstery. There's not a whole lot you can do to clean it well enough. So they apparently did some of that. I didn't go back to that house because it wasn't on my route. So I helped do the roach cleanup stuff, and then that was someone else's account. But we got rid of the roaches. So it's still possible. No matter how bad it seems, we can kill the cockroaches. But that was probably my my top cockroach job that I've done. Pretty proud of that one.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Delicious too.
Oh, yeah. When the walls look like they're breathing, you're
Yeah.
getting into
Oh,
something.
and it was perfect because when the light hits the roaches, they react to the light. So it was just this like perfect little ripple of wings as the light came over them from the flashlight. So yeah, it's pretty cool. You guys should try it sometime.
So with this situation, what was the main source of them being drawn to the house?
They weren't even drawn to the house. He had probably introduced them years ago.
Okay.
German cockroaches are big hitchhikers, so sometimes they can come home in groceries, right? They can be in a box already, and you just bring them in. If you don't take care of the problem, it just multiplies. And this guy, apparently, habitually, the only thing he ever asked for was a can of Raid. I'll just get him with a can of Raid. So apparently when he'd sit down to eat dinner, he would just spray the table with Raid to clear some space and then eat his dinner, right? Now the problem with Raid, and a lot of people don't realize, is Raid is a contact kill, right? So you got to hit the roaches with the Raid. So people will treat all their cabinets with Raid and then wonder why they still have roaches in the cabinet. It's because the Raid goes away. They're not leaving anything behind. They do have kinds now that do leave a residual, but for the most part it's contact kill. So all he was doing was killing some roaches. Well, German cockroaches breed super quickly, multiply super quickly. So he just never did enough to get ahead of the problem, and they just continued to breed. So we're talking anywhere from 35 to 50 eggs each week in an egg capsule from each female, right? So she also protects those right up until they hatch. She's ensuring survival. So you're ending up with just stacks of roaches. And all those generations just back up on top of each other and make more and more roaches. So if you don't do something to get ahead of the problem, it can get out of hand pretty quickly. And that was the biggest issue. Something had gotten introduced a while ago, and he had just never touched it.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. But we were there to help.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we were for.
Huh.
And we did
Give
it.
us a call. We'll definitely take care of it.
I hope so. That's the goal, right?
Right.
If you think it's the end of the world, we can try to help. ABC, Home and Commercial Services.
Well, man, that's definitely a pretty unique story. It's one that we hear and see a lot, though, in our line of services. This is one of the reasons why we wanted to start this segment of the podcast, was sharing some of the stories in the service industry, so that way you can see what it's like to be a bug dude out in the field. We definitely, everyone who has done pest control probably has, for at least a period of time, probably has a story similar to this, or can at least relate to your story in this capacity.
I hope so.
I know I can. From various restaurants that I've seen, you can definitely see where roaches can get out of hand pretty fast.
Let's name names.
Yeah, let's not. But I want to thank you for coming here today, sharing your story. It's definitely an interesting one. I would never be able to step foot in that house if I were the kids too. So I get why they met you outside and kind of let you handle that situation.
Right? Yeah, it wasn't their house.
Yeah,
right?
No, I would probably be doing the same thing. Unless I, tasked to go take care of the issue.
Yeah, come on, Russ. Lead from the front.
Right. But we want to thank everyone for listening in today. I want to thank you for being a guest on the podcast. And I want to wish everyone that they have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you for listening. Again, this is Russell Jenkins with the Go Anteater Podcast. Cheers, everyone.
ABC Home and Commercial Services.